Howdo, time for Spider and Old Scooter again. It's me, Old Scooter. We'll be playing Spider Solitaire here. This is the Collapsing Earth edition of Spider and Old Scooter. I'll get that out of the way right away. I used, a couple of games ago, my orange that's succumbing to fungus all over it. And it was in the context of talking about overpopulation of the earth and how we're stretching them. Well, last time I did this, it took like 2 weeks. Well, this has only been about a week, and we went over the threshold of some sort. Check this out. A gigantic sinkhole. It could be that while I wasn't watching, we were hit by an asteroid, but I don't think so. I think it's a sinkhole. And as I read it, if this is the North Pole, it got most of Canada all the way up into the Arctic Ocean. Probably a piece of Alaska. It's a terrible thing. And the mold is everywhere. It is just encompassed, except for this strange little streak here. I suspect that's the old Confederacy. Somehow the mold didn't get them. And over here, I think, is probably cuts right through the Mediterranean and the Greek islands and everything, and all that was saved. But otherwise, in terrible shape. So we need to come up with a solution for overpopulation, lest our orange get molded. That's why I called it the, whatever I called it, earthly catastrophe. Here is the mandatory plug of the books, the 2014 sci-fi book, A Reluctant God, where you could read about it on .blogspot.com. And the new one is Time Tripping with Amazing Females. Now, if that isn't a grabbing title, I don't know what is. But we're really here to play Spider Solitaire. You know, since I can do it, I will do it. I'll put that down. Clever, eh? So, this is a game I just lost, or I actually sort of won. But you don't want to see the old news, like they say over at Vanity Fair. You're not interested in today's news. Let's go to tomorrow. So here we are in tomorrow's news. Spider Solitaire, good game. I attended a session today, which I've actually spoken of on past games last month when I went. Then I dedicated a game to it. It's called Conspiracy Brews. It's a gang of mostly older guys and gals, and mostly conservative. Some really hardcore conservative and some moderate conservatives, but then there's me and maybe one or two other people with some liberal bent or another. All bent, you know. That's a very Trumpian move there, wasn't it? Wasn't it? And we discussed everything. I think my rant was on single-payer health care, competence of government, the theological similarity to political ideology. Oh, I was on a roll. And these people were sitting there looking at me like, well, there he goes again. They're tolerant. As I said before, they put up with me, even though none of them agree with a word I say. But one does what one can to bring enlightenment, or whatever it is. There was a quote today, I forget by whom, darn good. Somebody really appropriate. If I think of it, I'll tell you. But the quote is, common sense is a collection of all the prejudices and biases you've accumulated by the time you're 18. After that, then that's all obviously true, and that's common sense, and what's the matter with the rest of you people? You know, the human way. I started to bring up some of my political social theories, and I thought maybe not. It just didn't seem right. Maybe I'll bore you with them. I did say in the process of, people get to, you raise your hand, the wonderful man who runs the group puts them down in the order, hands are raised, and then you go around the room and you get 2, 3, 4 minutes, whatever you want, to make a point. Some take 2, 3, 4 minutes and don't make a point. They just ramble on. Oh, I bet the wind just blew something over downstairs. Do you hear that? It's being picked up. Don't know what it was. In any event, my turn came because I held up my hand, because I'm a loquacious dude, and I don't go to these things to not talk. Why would you do that? Listen? Sure. I'll do a little restack there. And I'll take this. I'm into the second half of the game now. Not feeling really optimistic at this point. But it's not all bad. I haven't punched any holes in the thin blue line. I will reiterate something I've said many times. I think the artificial intelligence behind this game, the dreaded Spider McGillicuddy, uses this inventory of cards, her thin blue line, all those that haven't been turned up, and her deal piles, and manipulates back and forth. I mean, they're virtual positioning. She can do anything she wants to. How would we know? And she works at giving me precisely what I don't want, and it distracts me when it happens. Makes me feel put upon. I want my cards the way I want them. I bet Donald Trump wouldn't have the patience to play this game. Who programmed this mess? Find 'em and fire 'em. But maybe how he would deal with it, which is not ineffectual, I'll say that. Scares the heck out of programmers all over the country. Oh, I was making some really wonderful point. I wonder what it was. Oh, see, when the game goes fairly well, there goes the brain. That's why it's such a good distractor. A calming effect. A get your mind off stuff that's bothering you effect. Spider Solitaire to the rescue. Makes me feel better when I do that. Makes part of me think the other part of me must be thinking, I wonder what it'll come up with. Well, not much right now. I'm probably overlooking something extremely obvioso, but it doesn't fall to mind. I've been having trouble with hoarseness at night as I record these things. Maybe you remember, maybe you don't. But if I speak a little more quietly, as I'm doing tonight, then I don't seem to get hoarse. I think I don't have any staying power when I'm speaking the ups. Also, my shirt, my rather wrinkled, soft cotton shirt, I think it was a Byron Nelson gift for buying a gold sponsorship or something. But, I put it on because it looked comfortable, and that's the way I pick my clothes frequently. Oh, that looks good, I think I'll wear it. And when I turned on the camera, I noticed that I've got a collar. I don't usually wear collars. I usually wear t-shirts, famous for not having collars most of the time. And of course, when you're an old person, which I am, here at 80, you have a turkey neck. I'm not sure this camera is high enough resolution for you to see, but I got a good one, You got to be proud of your turkey neck if you're an old person, because what are you going to do about it? Plastic surgery? Some do. Some do. I had to have some plastic surgery on my eyelids when I was like 50 because Genetically, I have this sort of hanging eyelids thing, and I was always running into stuff because I couldn't see peripherally. So I went in, and a plastic surgeon chopped them off. I went around feeling like this for days, weeks. Finally, it sort of came back to normal. If such a thing ever comes back to normal. What if I did? No, I couldn't. All right, this game is over. I say be proud of your turkey neck. If you're ever in the dark, as an old person, wear a headband. Brush your teeth really good. And sleep like a baby. Well, I've had some babies that I'd rather not sleep like. Had one that went for 3 months crying all night, seemed like. Well, thus it was, a pleasure and a joy. Good cheers.